Welcome to episode 20 of Discover Ocala, presented by Showcase Properties of Central Florida. I'm Valerie Dailey, the presenter for this podcast. In this podcast, I visit with Jon Garner, horse show manager at the World Equestrian Center in Ocala. Let's get started. Thank you, Jon, for joining me today. I'm excited to get to meet you and learn a little bit about what's going on in your world at the World Equestrian Center, also known as WEC. Tell us what you are doing currently right now.
Thanks for the invite, Valerie. It's nice to meet you too. We're sort of very much underway with our winter spectacular, which is 14 weeks, if you can believe that, of hunter-jumper competitions. We've gone right from beginning of January all the way through for 14 weeks.
About how many people compete during this time frame?
So we have in and around 3,000 stalls, which is shocking in and of itself. The hunter-jumper side of things will probably max out around 2,400 horses at the peak. The interesting thing, I think, for me is that when you try to get a wrap on how many people are involved, each horse brings with it, so to Ocala, around 2.5 people. So you get that multiplier of bodies coming in.
Right, and that's a lot of people at a lot of times. Now, are they showing every single day? What is a typical schedule?
No, we have the two very different aspects. You got the hunters, which is the natural jump, subjective concept, and then the show jumping, which is over the colored jumps, which is very more objective. You either win or you don't. And we have very different levels from walk trot poles in the hunters all the way up to 5-star FEI competition, which I know we're going to talk about a little bit. Generally speaking, I would say is that the front end of the week is professional focused, with the professionals getting the horses either competing in the classes they're looking at, or in essence prepping them for when their actual riders come in on the weekend. It's a very junior amateur focused, especially on the hunter side, I would say. So they have a real focus on the weekend, and a lot of them, just whether it's with school or with work or what have you, I mean, they literally fly in, do their classes, and fly back out again, yeah.
If someone wanted to come to WEC to watch these particular shows, how do they know where to go?
That's a very good question. I still occasionally have taken a wrong turn and go, how did I end up here?
WEC is very large, isn't it?
It's a really large place. And honestly, I think part of the enjoyment of it is finding your way. There's nowhere that's really off limits, which is kind of cool. A couple of different entrances, one off of 80th, one off of 40th. So you can come in either way, find a parking spot, and then just wander around and see what you can find. One of the things that we are really pushing to try to have is every weekend of the year to have something equine going on. Won't always be hunter jumpers, but we have such a diverse population of horses, especially in this area. So, when you come to the World Equestrian Center, even as somebody who's not necessarily a horse person, you want to, hey, I'm coming to the World Equestrian Center, whether I might be laying over or coming in for the weekend or what have you. You want to see a horse. Well, so we got a big push on now to make sure that there's something horse related one way or another.
Always going on. Yes, absolutely. Well, that's why we're also the horse capital of the world.
That's right.
There you go. Let's talk about some upcoming events that are in the works.
Right.
Some shows have been scheduled. What's the first big set of shows that are coming?
We have made a change to our sort of winter schedule this year, and we have a lot of international show jumping events. We basically have a format of that every week. So that is a big shift for us. We also have 2 events one's coming on in a couple of weeks. It's our first World Championship Hunter Rider Week. That group will absolutely kill me if I don't mention these. So we have 2 of those. So we'll have a lot of the top hunter riders coming in for those 2 weeks. The first real big one for me, February the 12th, is we have FEI World Cup qualifier. So that's a 5-star jumping event. The qualifier for the World Cup final, which takes place in Basel, Switzerland this year. So this is part of the Global World Cup League, and this is the East Coast North American League. So the U.S. is split into, or North America in general, is split into a West Coast and an East Coast league. So riders can qualify out of here to go to Basel in Switzerland. So with the World Cup, you basically just enter. As an athlete, you say you want to do it. And then if you get enough points throughout the qualifying season, you punch your ticket to the finals. So you'll get some people who are coming here desperate for that last group of points to try and punch their ticket, and some that it's just a big event. They're going to come compete.
Nice. So FEI, tell our listeners what that stands for.
It stands for Federation Équestre International. It's based in Switzerland. Two main languages are French and English, but it's primarily English. That is the international governing body of our sport. Every sport that competes in the Olympics has to have an international governing body. And then from there, you have to have a national governing body that oversees your sport. And frankly, they're one of their most important roles is to manage their national calendar. And the FEI manages the international calendar to make sure that the high-level events are appropriately spaced out throughout the year, but also on a quadrennial cycle. Start at the Olympics and then move backwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did WEC get picked for this?
We asked nicely, and generally speaking, these events, the World Cup and the League of Nations, which we're doing for the second time at the end of the circuit, they generally are on 4-year cycles. So you'll have an agreement in place for 4 years, and you put a bid in. They like it, they don't like it. I think it's very important for the FEI to have a foothold in North America. It's a big market, and we have had some great riders and incredible horses for decades. So I think it's I think it's very easy. The FEI is very much sort of Eurocentric. I would say it's based in Switzerland, but the major part of the sport is in Western Europe, Belgium, France, Holland, Germany. Swiss again would be mad at me if I didn't mention them, but that's where it is, and it's so easy to get around. Here we have such transit challenges just getting from one place to another. Certainly with the League of Nations, they want to have one of those events in North America. We put a bid in. We were lucky enough to get chosen.
That's awesome, and it really showcases the World Equestrian Center and Ocala and what we can offer here. So that's wonderful. How does one get to compete in this series?
The League of Nations is a team event. So now there are two aspects to it. You can compete as an individual, but the team itself, you get selected by your national federation. So the top 10 teams in the world will be here, and that's based team rankings based on their FEI rider rankings. So those riders are gaining points all the way through the year. The FEI will say, okay, you are eligible to compete. Then they go to the National Federation, and the Federation says, yep, we're in. Sweet. Then it's up to the Federation then to pick their athletes. We had, I think the U.S. were a little bit unlucky last year. We had a great team, and I expect the same this year. I mean, you always want to do the best you can at your home event.
Sure, absolutely. So what are some of the names that we might see here?
I'm fairly certain McLean Ward will be back. He's one of the most decorated Olympians in equestrian sport for the U.S. Probably Kent Farrington, Laura Kraut, if she's still got her horses at that level. You've got all these riders who compete at this level, and you can do it for a long time. I mean, it's amazing. It's all about whether the horse is there at the right time in that right
they're athletes, right?
100%
right.
They are. They're equal parties to this. And then from a local perspective, I really hope that Aaron Vale is back on the team.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
He's been a great supporter. He works so hard at it. He's got a great horse. He likes the cowboy, so tough on him. But no, it's that would be awesome. But at the end of the day, I think organizationally, when you get to something like that, you put it in place, and then try and sit back. It's not so easy to sit back for me on these things, but then you just you let those guys do what they do, and it's a blast.
Well, we're excited that it's coming. And where do they come from?
So it's always one of my favorite things to talk about. Now, here in Ocala, I think, especially with the thoroughbred industry, the concept of flying horses is not new to a lot of people. But the majority of the team horses will be flying in. So they'll come from airport in Liège, Belgium, which has become the sort of the best place to fly horses in and out of. They do an amazing job there. I've been lucky enough to be on a number of horse flights. So they come from there. They'll come into Miami. They'll hit their quarantine. Have 40 some hours of quarantine. They'll get, which is where they get their blood drawn. That then gets sent out to get tested. Assuming everything is good, then the horses get put on trucks from Miami. They'll come up to Ocala. And then we have one of the great things about how, so many great things, but one of the great things is how WEC was constructed is having these large stable areas, but also that can be cordoned off. So there's a portion of the horses, the European horses, that will be in an extra level of quarantine. So they come in first, and the North American-based horses will follow a day later. And then we get up and running, and then send them home.
I know that they're selling seats.
Yep, I heard just very recently that we are running out of tickets.
Okay.
So WEC.net is go there, and you'll find your way to to get your tickets there. But it's it's a good time.
It's great. Yes. What other events are going to be coming that our listeners should know about?
Here's the thing. I think you can come. I mean, you can come at any time right now between almost 8 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock in the afternoon, from Wednesday to Sunday, and there will be something. You'll see horses jumping in some form or another. I say we have international jumping every single week. I was really impressed here that we. Our first couple of Saturdays, so Saturday Grand Prix night under the light, it's exceptional.
What time does that start?
First horse is always about 7 o'clock at night. It's been so cold, Valerie. I mean, we're talking about this, and still people turned up to come watch it, which is so exciting. I think that we know the local horse community really enjoys it, but I think too is just seeing the average person coming in really has nothing to do with horses, doesn't know about horses, but they love wandering around the grounds, and then coming out on a Saturday night wrapped in blankets or not, to come see it. Yeah,
people bring their dogs.
Yep,
as well. I've seen them on
me
leashes.
Every day. I bring my dog every day.
Good. I'm excited that it's coming. I'm excited that you're here at the World Equestrian Center.
Yeah, I was really fortunate. I got to meet the family the year before it opened. Been quite involved since day one. I was at the ring when the very first horse, Sean Wardley on Gatsby, was the first horse that came into the Grand Arena.
So you've really seen it grown.
It's been a wild ride, and I don't think it's stopping anytime soon.
No, I don't either. So we welcome everybody to come out and see. You can go to WEC.net to look at the schedule as well.
Yep.
They also have an app that you can download.
Yep.
And it lists everything that's going on during the week and weekends, because they have the Yellow Pony as well with live entertainment.
Yeah, and we're really sort of scratching at the surface on all that stuff with the restaurants, and we got the event center that's being built. It's going to be opening sometime 2025, and then shops on 80th. It's definitely a destination place. The facilities are second to none anywhere in the world, so
we're very blessed.
We're in a good place.
Yes, so perfect. Well, thank you for joining me.
You're
I
welcome.
have certainly enjoyed speaking with you, and I'm sure our listeners have learned a lot, and they're welcome to come out anytime and enjoy what the World Equestrian Center has brought to Ocala.
Yeah, and we have such a great team, and if there's anybody is happy to, if you're not sure where you are or what you're looking for, just tap somebody on the shoulder. We'll get you there.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Valerie.
Thanks to Jon Garner for joining us today, and we look forward to being with you once again next month, right here on Discover Ocala, presented by Showcase Properties of Central Florida.
Discover Ocala is presented by Showcase Properties of Central Florida. As an independent brokerage firm for over 2 decades, Showcase Properties has helped customers throughout Central Florida achieve their real estate goals. Showcase Realtors offer expertise in a variety of property types and price points, and their services go beyond just buying and selling. Visit showcaseocala.com to connect with a dedicated local realtor and start your unique real estate journey today. We also want to thank you, the listener, for taking time to discover Ocala with us. We hope you enjoyed this month's episode, and if you did, please consider leaving us a review or rating wherever you're listening, or even telling a friend about us. If you have any questions on other organizations, individuals, or events you'd like to see covered in future episodes, you can get in touch with us directly at Discover Ocala at showcaseocala.com. See you next month.